sounds terrible.
Oh, okay. All right. So we won't worry.
No, don't worry about it. Just if it doesn't sound, there's no point.
Oops, it looks like we're on. So okay. So sorry about that. All right, let's get going. We'll see if we've got anyone coming along to join us shortly. So basically, we'll start with the question that I kind of put up with our post. So how courageous do you think you are? So courage is an interesting word, and it's a term that we often use in perhaps a little bit of the wrong way. But it's all about how we get through difficult and testing times and how we find that way through whatever situation we're in. And if we can do that, we're being courageous. So I'm Marianne from One Life to Flourish, and welcome to today's episode of Making the Leap, where today we have Trish Blythman as my special guest. And I can see that we've got a few people watching. So just a little bit of housekeeping before we do get going. First of all, if you know anyone else who would really enjoy hearing from Trish today, please invite them over using the arrow key that's down below me somewhere. And also, just a reminder that we are going live in a few different places. So we can only see your comments if you are watching through My Time TV Live. Now, that doesn't mean to say that we won't catch up with you after, but if you want to be able to interact with us, then that's where you need to be. All right, so that is my housekeeping. Now, as you can see today, my guest is Trish. We're going to find out a lot about her life experience, I suppose, as we go through. And we'll find out a little bit more about her business as well, which is Integration for Life. So, Trish, welcome to today's broadcast.
Oh, thank you, Marianne. It's so lovely to be here. We had a very short talk, which went on for probably 2 hours the other day.
Yes, we did. It was a good talk, though.
It was a very interesting chat. So, yeah, thank you so much for having me on here. It's such a pleasure to be able to share with the world a bit more, in a bit more of an expanded way, what it is that I do. And so thanks so much for calling out to me to do this.
That's not a problem at all, because the story that you've kind of got to share with us really fits in with the focus of this broadcast. So it's great to have you here. All right, so maybe if we get started with a little bit of background information so people can kind of see where your journey started and get a sense of how you've ended up where you are at the moment. So could you tell us just a little bit about maybe your working background?
Yeah, sure. I mean, before we get started with that, well, courage, is really facing your fears and stepping through that, which, comes in line with comfort zones and stepping through comfort zones as well. And really, even though you don't feel like that, through that fear, that you have the confidence in you to be able to step forward, when you actually drive yourself through that sort of veil, you can. And I guess that's what I want to talk about a bit today. So my background is public servant through court department and then police department. So since I left school, I was a clerical assistant with a public servant for police and courts. And so that went on for a bulk of my life. I'm now 60. 15 years ago it was that I actually left the police department. And just prior to me leaving there, I mean, for many years, I just loathed being in public service role. In fact, when I left school, I said to myself, the last thing I want to do is become a public servant. Well, that didn't work very well, did it? Because that's the first thing I went in and did. Anyway, but obviously it was really interesting that I was working through a whole environment of like very authoritarian type businesses or corporate world. And in amongst that, over the years that I was in the police department, I realised there was a gap because of the amount of stress that the police officers had, and of clerical as well, within that field of work. So when I was doing my workplace training and assessment, I decided that I was going to put together some of my modalities that I did as a hobby outside of my work, which was to work with Reiki and massage, more spiritual, looking at internal ways that we work with ourselves and in our mindset, our comfort zones and all that. And I would bring meditation and all that into the police environment. So I put together this 12-week preventative stress management course, and with the help of my beautiful boss, he was able to help me in the training area, and we were able to put together this great 12-week program, of which we put forward all the police and personnel that were able to come on board with it, and had such a success. Like, it went from 80% down to sort of like 20% in stress levels over those 12 weeks, which is pretty phenomenal. And it was a great way for me to sort of step into doing what I love, but putting it in the corporate world, and offering them things that they really never would step into, given that they didn't have this there. So, doing meditation, Pilates, kinesiology, all these, and mindset, meditation, all these things that they wouldn't normally do in their outside world. So it was very, very successful. So that's pretty well where I came from as far as a business side of things, working in the police department, court. And I really saw, like I say, that gap there, that part of where people who go into jobs and they're working in very harsh environments that are mentally draining, emotionally draining, and the help that they need in that environment. So yeah, it was pretty amazing experience to go through. So that was really my background of work. But my parents getting quite ill, and I decided to take some sick leave off. And when I was on that sick leave, I guess I just felt sick for the thought of going back to that job. So I decided to take some leave without pay, and because I didn't have much leave left, and I did that for 2 years, and I just jumped out. And I tell you what, it was a brave jumping out, but very frightening, and I had an enormous terror because I had a mortgage. I don't have a partner, so I didn't have a partner to help me out in any way. I had bills and that to pay, but still had to do all of that. And like, I didn't have a job to go to. Like, what was I going to do? So it's really interesting when we make these, it's almost like it's orchestrated in a way, but while we're in that terror and fear, it feels like, oh my goodness.
Yes, exactly. Why did I do that? Yes.
It's like, why am I doing this? But I just knew I couldn't go back. That's all I knew. So I just took the plunge, really. Yep. So yeah, so that's pretty well how I got out. That was 15 years ago now. So I've survived. Yeah. I'm still here. I've still got my house.
Which is a good thing. Definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's obviously, despite that fear, things have still been able to be shaped in a way that you've been able to live and survive and that kind of thing.
Absolutely. I mean, that wasn't the only terror spot I fell into. I mean, I think life in general brings you up lots and lots of challenges like that, where, you've got to really trust your intuition about and your gut feeling about what's going on. And it does. It takes a great amount of courage and trust in yourself and trust in what you believe in, that it's going to just continue on and grow from there. Obviously, I don't just lay back and say, oh, the universe will provide. You've got to take action. That's the thing. You've got to take action. That's what the other part of it is. You have to trust, but then you have to dive deep inside of yourself to find where it is that you need to, place yourself, I guess, in the next part of your journey.
Yes, exactly. You can't just kind of go, I'll leave it to the universe, because the universe does expect, to have some action from you to actually have things unfold. I think that's how I see it anyway.
Absolutely. And, it's about really facing comfort zones. And it's a lot of what I do in my business, in my Reset Your Life program, is to help people to work through limiting beliefs and start to look at their thinking, start looking at their mindset, and start moving, out of that part of them that's, in terror, doesn't know, is scattered, in fear, feeling stuck, unmotivated, all that sort of stuff. So, it's about really pushing them, helping them push through, but having someone alongside of them to hold their hand and really encourage them that it's possible. It absolutely is. And, anything I've learned, I look at my own life and I think a lot of, things are completely possible, and we do have choice. And we've just got to be willing to, challenge that voice in us that says it isn't possible and I can't do it and there's no way out. There is always an answer to a problem, and there's always a solution there, sitting there waiting for us to find, to be able to move forward. So, yeah, I encourage anybody out there listening that if you really are feeling like you're in a place where you don't see any way out, but there's always a way out, and it's just about really sourcing those people out around you. And quite often we just switch off and we don't reach out, and it's about the reaching out. And I tell you what, after also all these years, I've been able to, like I say, I've still survived money-wise, and, I've bought thousands and thousands, like big dollars on my sound equipment over the years, and done courses, and never been able to claim on tax because I've always been under the threshold. So, like, you still can do it. You've got to have that belief system that tells you that it's possible. Everything is possible. And
yes,
people will turn up at the right times,
Exactly. It's amazing how that kind of happens, where just at that point that you need something, then the universe brings it to you. So I'm just going to have a little pause because we've got a few people here who are just kind of asking for readings and that kind of thing. So basically, if you make a comment, you will go into the draw to win the prizes that we have on offer for today. So we'll come back to that a little bit later, but definitely keep on commenting and so on, and we'll get to you and put you into the draw. We'll see if you can win one.
Yeah,
all right.
Absolutely. So perception is everything, isn't it? Like, perception is everything. So how we perceive and we look at it, that's how we can. When I do my group sound attunement group, like everybody, someone reading could be telling them some information, and someone on the other side of the room could have quite a cathartic experience with that, because they're hearing it completely different because of the way that they're perceiving it, and also the way that they're hearing it for their circumstances, their life circumstances. So, I think that everyone, we could have you, me, and another person in the room, and someone could throw something at us, and each person will have a different response to that or reaction to that. They would totally hear it and see it and feel it different. Someone might be fearful and it might be bringing up a lot of stuff, and another person just washes off them like a water off a duck's back. It doesn't bother them. So, that's when we question, like, well, so what is the difference there? What is the thing that makes it different from one person to the next? It's to do with our background, our limiting beliefs, and our perceptions about life, which we learned from when we were quite young.
Yes, exactly. And sometimes they're the trickiest things to actually deal with. And the way that you see things that are happening does go through the filters that you built up from a very young age. So it is an interesting, perspective on it. Anyway, let's move on a little bit. So,
okay.
So we have talked about how you kind of got out of your, public service type job, and obviously at that time you'd been developing skills just in a hobby sense around, Reiki and some of the other healing sorts of things. How did you actually go into like your music area and doing like the sound healings and those sorts of things?
Well, this is where it gets a little bit left field, but I had an awakening experience. I was actually after I'd left work, probably about 4 years after that, once I had actually job. One was just clipped off there, I noticed. So I worked in elder care doing Reiki and hand massages and things like that for the elderly. But it was in amongst this time, even though I wasn't really doing any spiritual work, in fact, I wasn't doing anything focused around that. I'd done a lot of stuff with self-development work and, got my diploma in a thing called psychosynthesis, which is really, working on self-development. And so I was started to have these awakening experiences, like another otherworldly experience where I was really touched by heaven. And that went on for 9 months. So I had an enlightenment experience, went on for about 9 months with Kundalini surges. And it carried on for that complete 9 months. And then I started to feel myself coming back where I was feeling a complete peace. I dropped all this weight. I'd gone vegetarian. It was like I was living in a loving, what I would assume would be like a fifth dimensional self in a third dimensional body. And I was actually in a nirvana space for nearly all that time. But after my 50th birthday, I started to feel my density. I felt myself falling back into my body, into this reality. And at the tail end of that, I got these sacred geometries through my consciousness that I saw come in, and I started to fluently speak in angelic tongues. I started to speak in the light language, a lot of people know as light languages, galactic languages, star languages. They come by many names, but I've sort of more phrased it for myself as soul languages, because I really do speak to each person's soul. In the language of their soul. So their soul knows what I'm speaking to them about, but quite often it bypasses the mental mind here, and so we don't know what's being said really in that English or in that way that's through the conscious mind. But so I started to have these I started to also sound in these really high angelic tones. Now I've always had a nice voice, but never felt comfortable singing in normal, what I perceive normal forms of singing, and I've never really been trained. So to be having these amazing heights, angelic tones of which I was singing in was really, really quite amazing. I was like, wow, what is this? This is incredible. I've never really got to that height before with my vocals. So after that happened, I started to eventually get, groups together, and I would speak in these beautiful languages, which were very heartfelt. People will have tears that will come up, like a remembering of home, joy, love, all that sort of feeling. But they really activate our DNA and our human, parts of our cellular self, and also for our soul to awaken as well to what it came here for. So it sort of carried on. It was like it never got a manual given to me from heaven to say, this is what you need to go and do now, and this is how you do it. It was really an unraveling and an absolute trust, because way back in 2009, 2010, when I had this experience, there was just nobody out there really doing sound work. Not in the form of which I was doing, or other than the churches, people speaking in these languages. So it was very left field and not the easiest. It's like when you're forging through a new area into the world, it's not always the easiest path to be taking. But I just knew that I had been working up to my service, and I needed to share that with other souls. That's what I came here for. It was like a contract got working up in me. And so, that's really where that all came from. I wasn't doing anything musically in before that. And so I've just followed that path, and I've just kept moving forward with it to where it is today. Pretty well.
Yes, and it is beautiful music that you create. Unfortunately, we tried to have some of that playing as we started, but it just wasn't coming through really well. I have put a link in the comments, though, to your YouTube channel where you can definitely connect with some of that amazing music. I mean, if you've not heard Trish, definitely go and check it out. It is incredible. Just kind of the sort of music that just sends tingles up and down your spine.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, because I'm sounding in those languages, so that vibration, those what we call light codes. So they're light coded, they're keys, and they sort of unlock that part of us. It's our soul service, and so at the ultimate part of us, we are spiritual beings in a physical body. So it touches that part of us, and it allows people to sort of step into where their service as well, and get from point A to point B with some encouragement, some confirmation, like any sort of reading, because I translate it into English for people so that have some idea what's actually being spoken to them. And so just allowing people to really feel the vibration, because they hold a high frequency within them that helps that being. So it keeps people in a nice flow. We're always being bombarded with light codes all the time. It's just the density of our body and our mind that's so active all the time. It's really hard to actually access that as much as we possibly can. So given that I'm able to do this, it makes people stop, they're able to be there and be in presence with the sound, the beautiful sounds that I make as well that are more cleansing and clearing of their auric field, and bringing them into a space where they're then open to receive the highest, purest, words, the frequencies of the sacred words and transmissions. So, yeah, that's pretty well what I've been doing since 2009, 2010, with a brief interruption of having a near-death experience with typhoid and septicemia back 5 or 6 years ago, which knocked me out of the system for about 5 or 6 years. So, I think the most amazing thing for people out there to remember is that all of your experiences, all of your so-called sufferings, pains, things that have held you up in your life, set you up to be so compassionate and empathetic to other people. And usually whatever we've suffered in, even if it's from our childhood, and we get through that, we've learned how to get through that, then that becomes our gift, our service quite often. It's where we tend to get, because we've experienced it. We've got through the other side. We know how to actually help others then.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. I mean, it really is those trials that we go through, I think, that can help us to, tap into the part of ourselves that wants to be of service and can find that area of service that is particular to our experience. So, so basically, maybe let's do a little bit on what you're actually doing at the moment, and then we've got a few people here who've been sort of talking about readings. Are you happy to do like a light language reading, just a brief one for someone who's actually been watching and commenting today, or would you prefer just to keep it as
normally I like to see them, but
yeah, I know, I'm not sure that we can do that. We could give it a go.
I'll give it a shot. Obviously,
so we could potentially try. Yeah, so we could try, because I could probably invite them. We can have more than 2 people on the screen. So
yeah. All right, we'll try that in a minute. But yeah, because if I can see them, I can see eyes to the soul. So it's not that it wouldn't be accurate or not for them. It'd be perfect for them, whatever. But if I can see them, I prefer to do that. So what I'm doing now is it's at the beginning of the year, I've been doing also putting everything I've got really from my life's learning and things that I've done in workshops and things that I've helped people with. I put it all into what we call a 4-week Reset Your Life program. So it's a self-development program. We work every week through first week mind. So we're working at mindset and through people's comfort zones, their thoughts. We work through goal setting, just really putting in balance to their life so they can really sort of have a great snapshot of what's going on with their life right now, and then starting to put into place some things to shift it into where they want to go, because really it's about focus. Like anything, wherever we put our intent, energy must follow. So it's like really setting the person up and in that first week so that they can start to get a great visual and understanding about where they've come from, but where they would like to go. So working with limiting beliefs and things like that. Second week, we work on emotions, and so we work with what I have learnt through a meditational process that I did in my diploma of psychosynthesis, which I've used many times over my life, and it's been an amazing tool and has really shifted things. So I teach people how to dialogue with images through that process, and so they have something to take away that they can work with for the rest of their life, really, as I have. So we work on the emotions that second week with values thrown in, looking at values. Third week, we do the body, and we work on balancing out and working on new ideas and goals for setting up a healthy and well-nourished life for their body, exercise, etc. And some goals, and then I give them a Reiki chakra balance massage for an hour. And that's really beautiful to have these one-on-one treatments with me. And then the last week we work with the spiritual body, what it is that makes us up to be spiritual beings. And then they get a sound treatment as well on the table. So they get 2 treatments in there, and I get a light language message every week with them, which I think is crucial to the shifts that have been happening for people. Been quite successful and amazing what you can achieve in 4 weeks. You know, blowing me away. I thought it might take longer, but it actually doesn't. People were really shifted by, that second week. So we're working at all their energy levels and every subtle body level with them as well. So it's quite a beautiful combination of working with, essential oils in amongst it, working with, the light languages, working with the person and helping them shift into an area and motivate them into where they want to go next. So perfect time at the moment to be, setting ourselves up for 2021.
Yes.
So that's basically what I've been doing, as well as my sound event that I run around the place. Still doing that with my sound baths, which are lay down experiences for people, which is very relaxing and healing. People have massive shifts within those as well. And then my sound attunement groups, which are a secret event for 2 hours where people get the sound bath, a clearing and cleansing around their auric field, and then I sit in front of each person and give them a message in the soul languages. So, yeah, you've got quite a variety of things that I am doing at the moment, as well as I'm putting together a new CD for Christmas and get myself, and COVID doesn't get in the way of getting some things done. So, having one-on-one treatments are beautiful as well. So that's pretty well what I'm doing in my business, and I love helping people, because I think we can all do with some help, and having someone there on your side encouraging you is just golden. There's nothing like having somebody there, a coach, and I've had my beautiful coach. We know that, don't we, Marianne, from Jody?
Yes.
So it makes all the difference having someone on your side that's supporting you, that believes in what you're doing and only wants the best for you out of the whole situation. So that's pretty well what I have been doing in this last year, and I think I've taken maybe 20 or so people through that program, and it's just ongoing. So I have 3 hours with people every week, one-on-one. So it can be either Zoom, it can be done through that way. I've done Mount Gambier people, so we've done the lesson plan by Zoom. You don't have to be here in person with me for that, and still at half price and what it's valued at. So yeah, thank you so much for asking. But yeah, I love taking people. I love the variety of things that I offer for people. So I'm sure there's something in there that might resonate with someone.
Okay. I think I just lost a little of your sound there, but we'll see how we go.
Yeah, so you had your hesitation, yeah.
So yes, I've just been checking out whether we could actually get someone on, and it's probably going to be a little bit tricky. So what we might do is just go through what we were going to do, which was to do a draw for a couple of people to have a reading with you. So maybe if you just explain to people what that's about, and then we might kind of wrap it up.
Okay, so it's a 20 to 30 minute, depending on how long we go, Zoom meeting, or if people are happy, you can do FaceTime as well. It doesn't really matter as long as I can see your face, be able to just give you a reading. I'll explain a little bit more about what it is and about what sound and frequency and vibration. Everything is sound, with sound, but with everything in the world, it's energy. We are energy beings. So everything has a vibration, and it creates a frequency. So everything is a frequency, basically. And the other thing I didn't mention is my beautiful Healy device that I would talk to you about. So I've been offering that because, especially in this day and age, when we've got COVID and all that around, anything that we can have that can help us to, shift that frequency and put the right frequencies in. This is like a little miniature healing device that you can have on your person, and it's portable and everything, and it has 120 programs, 144,000 frequencies, which is just amazing, that it will scan your body and pick up what it is you need and shift. And so many people, thousands of people around the world have been having such amazing transformations with their health, and it's an incredible technology, and working on a quantum theory for scanning people, doing distant healing, but it works on plants and animals. So if anyone's got great sickness, it might be able to assist them and help them. So that's another area that I've been going into. It works beautifully with all my frequency work that I do, and so yeah, I'm really loving it. I've been sitting here with it on, with positive thoughts going in the background, and it's quite an amazing device. So
yes, and as I've told you before, I've been seeing and hearing lots of things, and I noticed we've just had Roz come on. She missed the start, but she's turned up.
Hey, Roz.
She's just saying how much she loves her Healy as well, and I know she does. So yes, it's like everyone I know who's got one and uses one just says the same thing. So it is an amazing thing, and the fact that you have a system for people being able to use that as well is pretty great as part of your whole offering.
It is, and it's a part of really just another aspect or another layer that goes with all the vibrational healing work that I do, and so it's imperative that we look after our bodies, and if anything's going to help that along the way, I think it's worth the investment, absolutely, especially at the moment with all that's been going on this year. I think keeping on top of our health and our healing is paramount. Putting those extra dollars into that is going to outweigh anything else, or give you back the return in so many ways. I mean, we only have this one body, don't we? So it's important to, feed that with the right things. So, what you put out, you get back tenfold, and that's with everything in life. If anyone wants to know, just send me a message through my Facebook page, which, hopefully you've got down below there somewhere. But, the link to my Facebook business page, all my events on there, everything that I do, you can send me an email or message me. That would be great. So
yes, and I've put all those details on there. So
Do you want me to do a message for someone? I'll give it a go.
Okay, so I'm not sure. Brenda was saying something before. Let me just bring that up and we'll see if you can get anything there. So Brenda O'Neill, so she's saying I've been feeling lost, heartbroken and so on.
So Brenda, I usually don't, I don't need to know what's wrong with you, because in fact that's better that I don't, because I do the reading so that I can, that I haven't picked up on anything. So let's just do one, see what comes out, hey? So this is for you, Brenda. It's like you've hit this brick wall, right? You've just come into something that's like solid, you've run into it, and it's like when you're going into a brick wall and you just keep bumping up against it, trying to get through it, but it's solid. You're like, you can't get through it. So what you need to do is actually just accept where you are. This is something that's really interesting with people, is that the more we resist it, the more we try to fight it, understand it, work it out, the more we go into more pain and suffering. It's more about the letting go of the resistance to that by just stepping back from it. Step back from it, just accept that you are where you are right now, for a reason. It might not be a reason that you consciously understand at this minute. See, a lot of the times when we meet these sharp or really solid, hard places that's suffering in our life, it's really about us taking a step back and really having a look at our life and just saying, okay, so what is really going on here? What is it I really want and need in my life now? It's like prioritizing. I mean, that's what, if anything else, COVID has been great for that. It's made us sit back, made us go internal. It's made us sit back at home into a space of no distraction, really. I mean, people still keep distracting themselves with painting the house and doing things like that. But once, over that longer period of time when we had to sort of stay away from being outside, those things ran out and then we were left with our emotions. So I think also at the moment people are having difficulty because there is a lot of sadness and now a lot of anger out there through what's just happened. For people who are sensitive souls, which I'm picking up that you are, that you're quite an empath, you pick up on a lot of things that are going on around you, we need to really collect ourselves up. So it's about really starting to nurture yourself back into a place where you feel that you can control. I always usually say don't go into control, but I'm using this in a very loose way, where you control only your environment in which you're in. So not really stretching yourself out any further than your own little area for you. So it's more like self-nurturing, looking after yourself. Because while you're still allowing other things to impact in your life, then that's taking you away from you. So it feels like that you've created, we all, it sounds terrible to say we create it. We do at some level create it. But it's all got a purpose for it. So just know that there is a reason behind it. As soon as you understand that at a deep level, then you can let go of it. You can let go of trying to fix it, trying to understand it, trying to make something happen from it, going into more sadness and grief about it. Say, okay, so this is what is happening right now. This is where I'm at. And just accepting this is where you're at the moment. The sooner we do that, the quicker it seems to shift. Start to put things into your life that actually bring you a lot more joy. Focus your attention on those things of what you want, not what you're going through, and what you have and what you haven't got. When you start putting in focus into a direction that is away from the pain, it's not like you're ignoring the pain. It's just saying you are choosing a different healing in that moment. the sooner you do that, the sooner things will start to lift. Mo seplebon tiere kebon. Niamakiam betaya ofusabla. Yenida toy manako seplebon tamianaki. So just allow, just breathe into it. Anytime you go into that thought process of, oh my God, it's all bad, it's all horrible, like what you talk about, I can't do that or this, I can't shift. Just go, take a breath and just go, it's going to be okay. Just keep reminding yourself it's going to be okay. So it feels like it's a time for you to start really focusing in and nurturing yourself, nurturing you. It's time for you to start prioritizing what it is that you want to happen in your life and start focusing on that. And from there, all else will flow. Blessings.
So I hope that was helpful, Brenda. That was amazing. That was like the reading that you gave me. What was that, last week? So
yeah,
amazing. So if you are really wanting to experience this, definitely go to Trish's details that I've put there, and make sure that you have put some kind of a comment, and we'll put you into our draw for the soul readings. And I think probably to gather everyone together, we'll let you know tomorrow if you have been one of the winners. Oh, Brenda saying thank you so much. So I hope that really has helped, Brenda. It's a powerful thing when you have that.
Beyond the English words, and I always say this to people, not to get too caught on my English words. I know, yes, we want a reading, and we want to know consciously what's being said. And yes, we're conscious beings, so it is really good for us to have some understanding. But really, the most powerful part of doing the light language is the language itself, because that goes in a lot deeper. It bypasses the mind, it goes straight into the soul, and your soul at some level. I mean, a lot of people nod their heads like, oh, like I'm familiar. It sounded familiar. It's like I knew what you were saying. Or they start to cry, or they start to laugh incessantly, like there's a joke being said. And, the two of us are looking at each other. I'm speaking these languages, and it's like we have no idea what the joke is, but it's like it makes them laugh. So there is something that's beyond. It's a very surreal feeling, but it is a deep feeling of love, unconditional love and encouragement, and it certainly does help people shift. So, Brenda, just notice over the next few days, just breathe into that space. Do not let my words of English go into, oh my God, I don't know what she was talking about, but don't go there. Just know that it's starting to work no matter what on that deeper level, and it will unravel. If you need any more help, you just contact me.
Yes. So thank you for that. And it yes, I can definitely say sit with it, let it kind of do what it needs to, because it really is the unconscious stuff that's happening, the quantum stuff that's happening, that is the most powerful.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
So I think we've kind of come to the end of what we were going to do today, and I don't know that there's anything really else that we were going to talk about. So definitely.
Well, I'm just gonna leave with a couple of tips for people.
Okay.
That might help them. Just understanding that obviously fear is false evidence appearing real. And so to know that when you start to bump up against restriction or resistance, we call it, blocks, struggles, all that sort of stuff, to actually start to be willing to look a bit deeper into why that is. Think about what you're thinking about. Just look at your thoughts, look at your belief systems, because they are a key to, like I said at the beginning, everybody has a different perception, and it's only different because of our limiting belief, because of our belief system. So if we look at it, if we're willing to choose to look at it in a different way, then we can see it differently. So that's why it is helpful having somebody helping you to see those bits and pulling you up on your words that you're saying as well. So be very mindful of what words you're saying to yourself. oh, I can't do that, I'm no good, or I would never be able to do that. Just remember to start picking yourselves up on the things, your language that you're using for yourself, internally or externally. And also knowing that, that there is great strength in being able to move through a comfort zone. And a comfort zone is something where it goes out of being off automatic pilot, what we're used to doing, or what we know that we can't get past, or we don't want to get past. But if we move past that automatic pilot part of us and start to shift and go beyond, just know that we will be challenged once we do that. That's why affirmations sometimes people don't really work, because start to head back into the direction of what the original automatic belief was. So just know that you're going to be challenged along the way when you start to step through your comfort zone. But you just keep showing up and just keep moving forward and start negating those or questioning those thoughts that are coming in. So it's okay, I hear you, but I'm not doing that right now. Or that wasn't the thing in my past, it's not here now. I don't have it now. This is one thing I use. It's like talking a different language when you hear yourself doing that. So just to be present with yourself, and especially at the moment with COVID and what's been going on, don't let yourself get caught in all that anger. If you can help it, don't go there. Don't get into too much of the media stuff. Try to stay present with yourself and work through what is going on for you and where you want to be. That's what it's all about. It's about us prioritising and looking at ways to look outside the box, really, at our life and start making those shifts towards there. And namaste to you all. And thank you so much, Marianne, for having me here today. It's been an absolute joy. I hope some people have got something out of that. And I hope to speak to some of you in the future. Or not see you at one of my gigs.
Yes, thank you so much. And I love the words that you gave us at the end there, which kind of ties us back to the courage that we talked about at the beginning as well, because it does take courage to, tap into what's happening in your head, step out of that, and actually keep going. I mean, that takes so much courage just to keep doing that. So thank you to
one step in front of the other, isn't it? One step
yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So
big leap, just one step.
Yeah, exactly. One step forward is better than staying still. That's almost going backwards.
Yeah,
all right.
Exactly.
So thank you, Trish, and thank you to all of those people who have watched and will watch the replay, because we've got a few people who are saying, oh, they're a bit late, but they'll watch the replay.
Beautiful.
So,
okay. Well, I look forward to you doing all of that, and like I say, it's been a real blessing to be here today, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Everybody
it has been
for watching.
An absolute delight to talk to you today. So thank you so much, and we'll say goodbye to everyone and remind you that next week you can come back and join in with another episode of Making the Leap. So goodbye, everyone.
Oh, I love that. Making the leap.